You won't believe what the wealthy are hiding. In today's eye-opening reveal, we're diving deep into the creepy secrets that the rich don't want you to know. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill financial tips. We're uncovering dark and manipulative tactics that give the elite an unimaginable edge while keeping the rest of us in the shadows. Some of these revelations are so shocking, they might just change the way you view wealth forever. So, before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. If you think you've heard it all, stick around until the end, because the top 3 will be the dirtiest, most unbelievable secrets you've ever heard. Are you ready? Let's dive into the world of elite wealth. 10. Philanthropy as a public image shield. Many wealthy people pour millions, sometimes billions, into charities. On the surface, it looks like generosity, but is it always? There's a hidden agenda behind many of these grand gestures, and it's called philanthropic camouflage. The wealthiest individuals often use philanthropy to deflect criticism and build a good public image, all while reducing their tax bills. They're allowed to donate to charities that they essentially own or control. Take, for example, donor-advised funds (DAFs). These funds let donors contribute money for a tax break, but they don't have to actually distribute those funds to charities right away. This pattern creates a cycle where ultra-wealthy donors sometimes fund solutions to problems their businesses have caused. For example, David H. Koch donated $100 million to fund cancer research at MIT. Yet, his company, Georgia Pacific, contributed to cancer risk through products with carcinogens. Similarly, Mark Zuckerberg's Chan Zuckerberg Initiative gave over $3 million in housing aid in Silicon Valley, an area where Zuckerberg's own ventures have driven up housing costs. In essence, this approach lets the wealthy accumulate influence and maintain control over the use of their funds, often for both social and financial gain. 9. Tax loopholes and evasion tactics. Let's start with one of the most common secrets, or should we say open secrets, of the wealthy: tax loopholes. It's no surprise that wealthy individuals go to great lengths to minimize their tax obligations, but the lengths they'll go to might shock you. We're talking about a secretive world of offshore accounts, anonymous shell companies, and even tax havens in countries like the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, and Singapore. And $21 to $32 trillion in financial assets are sitting offshore in tax havens. Due to the secrecy that pervades the tax haven system, precise numbers are hard to come by, so estimates can vary. The Tax Justice Network estimates that $427 billion is taxes lost every year to tax havens. The ultra-wealthy use complex networks of shell companies to hide their money, making it nearly impossible for the IRS to track. To put it in perspective, these funds could provide housing, healthcare, and education to millions worldwide, yet it's sitting untouched, benefiting only a select few. Did you know tax evasion on this scale was even possible? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. 8. Exploitation of labor. Here's a reality that the wealthy rarely want discussed: exploiting cheap labor to maximize their profit margins. Many of the products we buy daily are produced in conditions that would shock the average person. Billion-dollar companies have been reported to pay workers pennies while charging consumers top dollar. One recent investigation found that many major fashion brands outsource labor to factories where workers are paid less than $1 an hour. The fashion industry's reliance on fast, low-cost production through global supply chains has fueled forced labor, with major brands showing little willingness to change, warn workers' rights advocates. Note the Keynes 2021 report ranked 37 top fashion companies on their anti-forced labor efforts, scoring an average of 41 out of 100, a clear failure to address these issues. While 54% of companies had forced labor allegations, even luxury brands scored poorly, averaging just 31 out of 100. Though 97% of brands have codes of conduct, they remain largely ineffective in preventing forced labor. 7. Family secrets and cover-ups. Wealthy families have a way of hiding scandals, often thanks to well-paid PR firms. Imagine having enough power and money to make scandals disappear. Hidden affairs, estranged heirs, and even undisclosed children are far more common than people realize among the elite. It's not just rumors. Public figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger and even Elon Musk have stories of secret families that only came to light after intense media investigation. After revelations of a secret affair with a longtime mistress, Jeff Bezos' marriage crumbled in a public split. While not a crime, this kind of betrayal strikes at the heart of the 5 grounds for divorce recognized by the court. Adultery brings with it a whirlwind of mistrust, betrayal, and hostility, making it one of the most intense and complex grounds for separation. This secrecy protects their wealth, family image, and often their business interests. It's a luxury of the wealthy to be able to keep such secrets buried, making us question how much we really know about those at the top. 6. Legal loopholes and silent settlements. Ever wonder why you rarely see billionaires in handcuffs? Silent settlements and legal loopholes are why. For the ultra-wealthy, lawsuits don't mean long court battles, they're just expenses. They'll settle out of court, ensuring the details are kept confidential. According to a 2022 report from the National Law Journal, silent settlements have reached a new high, with up to 70% of high-profile cases involving wealthy defendants ending quietly in out-of-court agreements. These settlements mean that wealthy individuals can often sidestep any real consequences, keeping their public image squeaky clean while avoiding accountability. 5. Addictions and mental health issues. The public often views wealth as a gateway to happiness, but the truth is more complex. Addiction and mental health issues are widespread among the wealthy, hidden under a cloak of secrecy and stigma. Studies indicate that rates of substance abuse are higher among affluent individuals, likely due to easy access and higher disposable incomes. According to a report by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration (SAMHSA), wealthy individuals are twice as likely to struggle with substance abuse compared to those with lower incomes. The isolation that wealth often brings can lead to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and addiction. But these struggles are typically hidden, managed in private clinics far from public scrutiny. 4. Insider trading and unethical investment practices. Insider trading is illegal, but the line is blurred for those with high-level connections. The wealthy have access to a world of private information that allows them to make investment decisions based on data the general public doesn't see. This advantage isn't just unfair, it's outright exploitation. Take the 2008 financial crisis. Numerous top executives were accused of selling off stocks right before the market crashed, protecting their assets while millions lost jobs and homes. Though insider trading is technically illegal, the wealthy often face light repercussions, if any. These actions have a significant impact on the economy but rarely affect the wealth of those at the top. Shocking, right? Insider trading has been reported as one of the biggest unaddressed issues in financial ethics, with loopholes allowing influential figures to make millions off privileged information. 3. Privacy walls and surveillance systems. At first glance, spending millions on privacy and security might sound reasonable for the ultra-wealthy. But the extent to which some wealthy individuals go to protect their secrets is downright shocking. Surveillance systems that can spy on their employees, advanced tech that tracks anyone who comes close to their property, even hidden rooms and bunkers. These aren't just found in spy movies. These setups keep information tightly locked away and often include non-disclosure agreements (NDAs) to ensure those who know too much stay silent. In some cases, these surveillance systems are so intense they can intercept phone calls, emails, and even conversations held on the property. By 2023, security spending among the ultra-rich rose by 18%, according to a report from Business Insider, showing that the desire for privacy and the resources to achieve it is only growing. But these methods often come at the expense of employee privacy and ethical boundaries. These privacy tactics don't come cheap. One underground mansion was listed for $185 million last year. And those without underground homes are paying up to $500,000 to install looks panic rooms, which are becoming more popular than ever among the rich as gun violence increases, Business Insider's Katie Warren previously reported. 2. Image control and media manipulation. As we're getting into the top 3, this is where things really start to get dark. Have you ever wondered why most major news outlets never seem to dig too deep into certain billionaires' business practices? The answer is media manipulation and PR control. The wealthy use PR firms and legal teams not only to manage their public image but also to silence any negative stories before they see the light of day. Did you know that more than 50% of top news corporations are owned by billionaires or their holding companies? According to the Columbia Journalism Review, these billionaires leverage media ownership to influence news content, ensuring that articles and reports remain favorable to them or, at the very least, neutral. Some have been known to sue journalists or media outlets into silence, a tactic known as SLAPP, strategic lawsuit against public participation. The goal is not necessarily to win but to overwhelm the journalist or outlet with legal fees until they back down. In recent years, SLAPP lawsuits have increased by 17%, showing just how actively the wealthy work to control the narrative around their image. 1. Control over political influence. Now we're getting into the truly game-changing secrets. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about power. And in the hands of the wealthy, that power is often used to reshape the world in their favor. Through lobbying, campaign donations, and sometimes even direct bribes, the ultra-wealthy ensure that legislation and regulations work in their favor. In the United States alone, lobbying by major corporations totaled $4.1 billion in 2022, according to Open Secrets. These corporations, often led by ultra-wealthy individuals, lobby against labor rights, environmental regulations, and higher taxes for the wealthy. For instance, companies like Amazon and Google have invested millions in lobbying efforts to prevent unionization and data privacy regulations. It doesn't stop there. They also fund think tanks and policy organizations that influence how political candidates shape their agendas. The goal? Keep the systems favorable for their businesses and investments, often at the expense of workers, the environment, and the average citizen's rights. Do you think this level of political influence should be allowed? Let us know in the comments below.
And there you have it, the dark secrets the wealthy would rather keep buried. Now that you know what goes on behind closed doors, it's up to you to stay informed and think critically. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Cash Compass for more powerful insights into the world of wealth and power. Stay curious, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next one.